Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. In this video, we are going to learn from the very beginning how do you set up your orchestrator. If I open my UiPath Assistant, you can see it is asking me to sign in, and I hit on this symbol and hit on preferences. Again, it is offline and it has not signed in. So how do I set up everything properly? We are going to learn from the scratch. And also, when you open your UiPath Studio or you have installed UiPath Studio for the very first time, it is again at the sign in page. So how do I sign in? How do I set up everything properly in the orchestrator? We are going to learn in this video. So the very first thing I will advise you, close the UiPath Studio for the moment, okay, and just keep the UiPath Assistant open. All right, and hit on this button and hit open the preference page. So in the preference page, hit on the Orchestrator Settings. So here we are going to learn how do I set up everything in detail. All right, so the very first thing, log into cloud.uipath.com, sign in using your email address. So once you sign in, this is the page you would find. Here it is saying, good evening Rakesh, Orchestrator service. You do not have any service yet. So the very first thing you have to do is create a service, or you can also call it as tenant or services. So let me hit on create new. All right, and now let's hit on add tenant. Simple. So give it a name. For convenience purpose, I'm just giving a name as tenant Rakesh. You can keep any name that you need. So all these options by default given. I will just select a couple of other options given for practice purpose. So I'm going to select everything and hit on save. Just by doing this, what happens? A tenants get created. You can call it as a tenant, or you can also call it as a service. So tenant would be a good name to term it, tenant. So now we can see the tenant is created. Because we are in the free community edition, it only allows us to create one tenant. But in the enterprise edition, we have multiple options and multiple tenants can be created. Once this is done, the very first thing, you wanted to launch the orchestrator. To launch orchestrator, either you can click on this particular link, or you can click on this option, orchestrator. So let me do it either way. Let me hit on this link. It is going to open the same page. Either you access from the left side menu or from the link, doesn't matter. So once you launch in, you will see the tenant name that we have given. If you look at the URL, tenant Rakesh. So whatever the tenant name you have given, it will appear on the URL. So there's a tour. You can go through this tour. For the moment, let me close this. Now the very important thing to notice, once you are on this page, there are two different options. One is the tenant, the other one is the folder. So if you hit on the tenant, if you notice, the upper ribbon options have changed. If you hit on the folder, again there are different options over here. Now we will go to the tenant option. Okay, let's hit on the tenant option, and the very first step we have to do is create a machine or add a machine. Hit on the machines, and then there's an option add machine. So there are three different options given: standard machine, machine template. So if you go with the standard machine, there you have a written notice to you. I mean, there's a notification for you. For modern folder setups, we recommend using machine template instead. So let's go with the machine template rather than going for a standard machine, which was a classic way. I mean, the older way of doing it. Let's go with the machine template. So I'm going to hit on the machine template. Okay, so once it appears, this is the form that you have to fill in. So the very first thing it is asking, provide a name, template name. For the machine, provide a template name. So here what I will do, I will go to the orchestrator preference page. Now in the orchestrator preference page, hit on this drop down and hit on machine key. Now if you hit on the machine key, you will see the machine name has appeared, Rakesh PC. So copy this, whatever your name is, the machine name, copy this name, go back to Uipath Orchestrator, and here in the template name, provide the machine name as Rakesh PC. Done. Then scroll down. If you need to type something in the description, go ahead and do that. Tag, labels, all these things are not required, because our main goal now is to ensure our UiPath assistant is connected and it is licensed, and then we should be able to publish one of the package in Orchestrator and should be able to run from the assistant. Okay, that is the goal. So template name has been entered. Now let's scroll down. Here in the runtime license execution slots, it is asking us to choose how many unattended licenses we have. So here in the free edition, the max license given to us for practice purpose is 1. Same thing with the testing, I can't go with 2, max given is 1. Okay, once this is set, process type, would you like to run only foreground processes, background processes? So for the moment, just to avoid confusion, just go with all. Okay, so let's recap. Rakesh PC is this is the machine name I copied from the preference page of UiPath Assistant. Okay, and then all I have done is selected the licenses that I have and I'm hit on provision. Simple, that's all done. The moment it is done, you will find a machine key. This machine key you need to copy it. Copy this machine key and go back to the preference page. Now here in the machine key section, I'm going to hit on, or I'm going to copy paste the machine key that I got from Orchestrator. And now it is asking for the Orchestrator URL. For the Orchestrator URL, what you do, until Orchestrator you copy this. You don't have to copy the machine ad and all that. Just until Orchestrator, I'm going to copy everything and I'm going to paste it. Done. So once this is all done, all I need to do is hit on connect. So I have entered the Orchestrator URL, I have entered the machine key. Now you will see what happens just by doing this. It will say connected, but it is saying unlicensed. Why it is saying unlicensed? Why I still do not have a license? So let's figure this out. So now it is connected, but again there's a red color, there's orange color, and it is saying unlicensed. Now to fix this, let's hit on tenant once again. You can close this. Okay, it will go back to the tenant page. Now it is saying Rakesh PC template, machine template is used, to compliant, everything is fine. But our UiPath assistant still have an orange color and it is saying unlicensed. So how do I fix this? Now to fix this, if you hit on robots, see there's no option for you to add robot here. Now to address this, in the tenant section, hit on the folder. Now to operate my UiPath projects, right, I will create a folder, very specific folder. So hit on the folder and hit on the plus sign. And I'm going to give it a name called IT folder. You can give it a description for practice purpose. Okay. And then hit on tenant package feed, create a new package feed. Let's go with the tenant package feed and hit on create. All right. The moment this is done, what happens? A folder gets created here in the folder section. You are still in the tenant page. Look at this. I'm still in the tenant page, right? I did not move to the folder. I did not click on the folder yet. I'm still in the tenant page. Now here in the tenant page, here I should select the IT folder. So what happens? The email address using which I have registered myself, that username has been added by default. By default, this user has been added because I have signed it using my own email address. So here what I have to do, hit on this 3 dots and hit on edit. Okay. So once you do this, it gives your username, it gives your first name, last name, everything it could capture, the details, roles not selected. So here in the role, what you do, I am going to go with all the roles available over here. Okay, for practice purpose I need, so I'm going to select all the roles. Done. And then allow Orchestrator UI access. So leave things as they are, do not make multi changes. So in this page, that's all. Okay, I've selected all the roles and now I'm going to hit on next. Okay, now the next page, this is called robot setup. Do you need an attended robot? Yes, I need, so I'll enable it. Okay, and I'll go with the default options given here. Do you need unattended robot? Yes, I need it. Okay, then how do you like to? Unattended means without a user interference, it will automatically run. So it requires the machine credential. So I'll go with machine login credentials. Fine. Now the first thing it asks, provide me the domain username of that machine. To find the domain username, okay, just type cmd and open the command prompt. In the command prompt, you need to type who am I, hit on enter. Okay, so the moment you do, you get the domain username. So I'm going to copy this and then going to paste it over here. Okay, ensure there's no space, everything is done properly. Domain username is done. Credential, where it is going to store, so leave all the default options. Now it is asking the password. This password is nothing but your Windows password. If you lock your PC, the password that you have to use to log in into your Windows PC, right, for this specific user, the same Windows password you have to enter. So let me enter my Windows password. Okay, ensure the password is typed in correctly. Okay, so once everything is done, now hit on next. This page, robot settings, logging settings, allow development logging, resolution settings, all this, you don't have to, as a learner, you don't have to now literally do any modifications over here. You can go with update. Okay, so I'm going with the default enabled options and not making any modifications anywhere else. So this is done. So by doing it, what happened, I have set up a robot for this user. Okay, unattended, attended, both I've given. So once everything is done, once you have added the attended, you have enabled the attended robot, unattended robot, look at the machines. The machine that we have created, right? If you hit on manage machines in the folder, okay, so this machine, you need to select this machine, your machine that you have just added, select the machine and hit on update. Okay, the moment you do this, select the machine and hit on update, go back and check the UiPath Assistant. It is now connected and licensed. Okay, everything has been set up properly, so you are done. So now you can close this page and your UiPath Assistant is now signed in, and there's a green mark over here which tells you are already connected. Your robot is connected to Orchestrator. Okay, this robot has been properly configured. Okay, so ensure the two steps. One is in the user, we have hit on edit and we have enabled all the options just now I have shown you. And the second thing is going to the machines tab and hit on manage machines, and you need to select your machine, Rakesh, whatever your machine is, select it and hit on update. Okay, these are two important steps, post which your UiPath Assistant should be connected and licensed. If it is not happening, try to delete the tenant completely and start from the scratch. It will happen. Okay, start everything from the scratch the way I have told you. Okay, so once all the steps has been followed, what happens, my UiPath Assistant is now connected. After this, if you launch the UiPath Studio, I'm trying to launch the UiPath Studio, you will see the UiPath Studio will automatically sign in. Getting it? You don't have to do anything on the UiPath Studio now, because it will understand the machine is now connected to the orchestrator, so this application will automatically sign in. So give it a few minutes for it to sign in. Okay, now you can see the UiPath Studio has signed in, and you can see on the top it is saying, it is giving my name Rakesh Kumar Behra signed in. Alright, now let me, to start a process, hit on the new project and hit on the process tab. I have already done that. So what we are going to do now, we will create a simple process, and then we are going to upload that process to Orchestrator. We are going to upload the process to the Orchestrator, and we are going to run it from the UiPath Assistant, not from the Studio. So Studio is the place to build it, test it, right? Once everything is done, you have to send it to the Orchestrator, and from the Orchestrator you have to push it to the UiPath Assistant and run it from the UiPath Assistant, right? That is the production way of running something. Either from the Orchestrator you run it, or you run it from the UiPath Assistant if it is an attended robot. Alright, so this is a simple process that I've created, very simple. A equals to 10, B equals to 20, C is equal to A plus B. It's going to show a message called, so it's a very simple one. And then right, so let's go with this. So I've simply added something, and this is a small project. You can create any project, simply drag and drop a message box, say hello, whatever your name is, right? You can type that, or hello world. And once a simple process is created, one of the ways you can run it from here, you can debug it, you can also run it directly from the Studio. But once the development is complete, one has to publish it. to the orchestrator. So how this is being done, I'm going to show you. So first thing, we have ensured our UiPath assistant is connected, right, through which it is going to send the data to the orchestrator. So let's minimize everything, and this is the simple project. You can create a simple message box, just drag and drop a message box and try to publish it. Okay, so let's publish this. So once you publish, it is going to tell you the version of how many. So for the very first time, if you are doing, it will say 1.0.1. Hit on next. Just leave the orchestrator tenant processes feed. Just leave everything as it is and hit on next. Okay, before you publish, one more important aspect I forgot to inform you. Here, look at the folder that you have created, right, in the orchestrator. I have created the folder called IT. So let's cancel this. From the tenant, I want to move it to the folder now. I'll hit on the IT folder. So this folder that you have created, ensure your UiPath Studio is also connected, so that whatever publish you are doing, right, it happens through that folder. So the access and a lot of other things will happen. You can also stay connected with the workspace, but I will go with the folder which I've created. So I'll just change it to IT folder. Let your UiPath Studio refresh and everything is once connected. Hit on publish, just to ensure we are following the proper process. It is giving the package name, whatever the name you have given to the process, that will appear over here. Hit on next, leave everything as it is. Certificate is not required, simply publish it. Okay, so the moment I publish this is the window which is going to come. It is going to tell you publishing the package, published successfully, and this is the version number. So hit on OK. Let's go to the orchestrator. Where do I find this package now? Will I find it within the IT folder, or am I going to find in the tenant? So everything will go to the tenant. Hit on the tenant, hit on the packages. Okay, so here you would find automate with Rakesh, and it is, if you want to know more details, you can also see the details of this. Okay, everything is done. The package is now on the orchestrator. It is now on the cloud. It is now on the internet. So now whatever was there locally on my system, now it has gone to the cloud. Now from the cloud, how do I bring it to my UiPath assistant? My UiPath assistant is completely blank now. There's nothing, there's no processes. Now to get it, what I have to do, I will go to the folder, IT folder I want to operate on. I'll go to the IT folder, I'll hit on the processes. And here you have an option called add processes. Hit on the add processes. Select the package that you have just uploaded. Done. It is also going to show you the version number, entry point from which XML it's supposed to run, from the main.xml. You should leave everything as it is, and then hit on next. Okay, so once this has come, package requirement. So we don't have any, for a beginner, for a learning purpose, these are slightly not required at the moment. Package requirement, so leave it and proceed to the next page. And here it is asking the display name. So I'll give the same name, automate with the Rakesh, or whatever the automation name you have given, the same thing you can give, or whatever you wanted to show it. So I'll leave it as it is, blank. You can type it, and everything is done. I'm not going to change anything over here, and I'm going to hit on create. Okay, now the moment you hit on create, it says success, your process was added in the folder. You can start the process now or schedule it to run later by configuring a trigger. So let's start it now. Hit on start now. Okay, the moment you hit on start now, this is the page which is going to appear, and here it is saying account. So click on this. Here your name and the domain and username should appear properly. Okay, if it is not appearing, that means you have not followed the process which I taught earlier. Then machine, right? So something you must have missed it. So here my machine name is also coming properly. Everything is coming properly. Host name, this is not required, but if here is the host name, you can also select this. So once everything is selected, now hit on start. Okay, now what happens, from the process stage it has come to the job. So one job is running. Now if you open your UiPath assistant, you can see, which was blank few seconds back, it has got the project. It is coming from the cloud to my local system, which is there in the UiPath assistant. In the UiPath assistant, now I have got the package, and you can see the job started running because I wanted it to run I have done it from the orchestrator and it has started running. Okay, now let's see, let the process run. So as per the process that I have designed, it's supposed to show a message box with the output 10 plus 20 is equal to 30. So it's showing its output. So let me minimize this. Okay, now this is how I have got the process over here. Okay, now if I have to run it directly, not from the UiPath orchestrator, I want to run it directly from the UiPath assistant anytime later. That also you can anytime if you want to run a process that you have created, you can simply open the UiPath assistant, and if you have multiple ones, you can select which one you want to run and you can directly run. Okay, either you start it from UiPath assistant or you start it directly from the orchestrator. So whatever your need is. So here it is showing me the output. Okay, so with this, what happened, my UiPath Studio got connected. I learned how to publish a simple project or a simple process to Orchestrator. I learned how do I bring it to the UiPath assistant. So with overall, with the entire video, this must have given you a lot of confidence now how this can be set up properly and how you can start utilizing your projects that you are going to create in UiPath Studio. Will give you more insights. Okay, so you'll ask, Rakesh, do I need to every time publish it for learning purpose? No need. You can simply run it from the studio, but again at the end, when it have to move to be when you have built a project for end users and that has to go to their systems, so I've showed you how you can publish it to a system or to a user who has got only UiPath Assistant. The studio is meant for developers, not for the end users, so they will have UiPath Assistant. Now on the UiPath Assistant, if we have pushed some of the automation to their systems, they can see the automations listed over here and they can run it. Okay, so that is the purpose. So thank you guys for watching it, and hopefully there will be a lot of doubts that you had earlier. This should have been cleared with this video. So thank you so much. If I would have helped you a little bit, I'm very happy to know that. Please do comment and let me know if this video had or have helped you to set up your orchestrator, UiPath assistant and your studio. Thank you guys. Please do subscribe to our channel in case you have not done it. Our channel name is Automate with Rakesh. Please do subscribe and please do give it a like and do comment what did you like in this video and what are the other contents you would like to see in the future. Thank you guys. Take care. Bye bye.